Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 81st Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. The team I'm in today consists of a Brotherhood member, Conan, who has bought the Rome Julii faction. As you may know, Conan was one of the co-founders of the Brotherhood back in January 2005. The next member of the team is myself, Spartan Commander, who has also bought the Rome Julii faction. And our other team member is Brotherhood member Talos, who has also bought the Rome Julii faction. So there's our team there, full of experience and good players, and I think this would be a great battle for you to watch. At this stage of the battle, I thought we might like to look at a couple of different formations. Here is a Brotherhood member Conan's formation here. If you noticed, his formation is something like, I think what you call like a checkered board formation there. If you notice, he's got 18 infantry units and just 2 cavalry units. Now 18 infantry unit is a heck of a lot. And to bring only 2 cavalry units is quite unusual. So it would be interesting to see whether losing the flexibility of maybe having 5 or 6 cavalry measured against having so much infantry. It would be interesting to see how this pans out. And also, here's another interesting formation by Brotherhood member Talos. If you look at his pilot shield unit there, he's got 2 pilot shield units, but look how they are set out within his formation there. So that'll be interesting to see how that does. Also, he's bought 5 cavalry within his army, so this should be interesting to see what happens. And here is the other team. We have RTW player Cerberus, who has bought the SBQR faction. We have Brotherhood member Turbo, who has called himself Landau in this game, who has bought the Rome Scipio faction. And then we have RTW player who's called himself October Child 64, but is in fact Scorpion King SR. A lot of you will know that he is a veteran RTW player. He calls himself different names, but it is actually Scorpion King SR there. So there you are, and he's bought the Seleucid faction. As you can see here, he's running forward with his archers, covered by his cavalry there. He's probably looking to see if he can pick off any of our armies as we're forming up with his archers. And of course, backed up with cavalry, we wouldn't send anything to try and get them, because his cavalry's pretty tough. Here I thought we'd have a close look at the Seleucid Cataphract cavalry. We tend to call them the tanks of the ancient world. If you see how well armoured they are, they're very difficult to kill. They've got a massive charge, and they are potentially battle-winning cavalry. They are pretty tough. So SR likes using the Seleucid faction, and he's really good with that cavalry. Also, the Seleucid have got their silver shield legionnaires there. Are pretty tough. They're not as good as the urban cohorts, but they are pretty tough in their own way. And then of course you've got the pikemen, the Seleucid pikemen with their long pikes. So that's a Seleucid army there. It looks pretty tough to me, and I think they're going to do pretty good in this battle. At this very early stage of the battle, you can see that our teammate Talos, with his Julii army there, is attacking on our right flank. As you see there, he's doing a right flanking action there, probably hoping to turn the enemy SBQR army outwards to face him. If you notice, he's taking a couple of infantry units as well as his cavalry over towards the SBQR cavalry. That's a very smart move, because if the SBQR cavalry attacks, not only will they be fighting Talos' cavalry, they will be fighting 2 infantry units as well. So Cerberus is making a wise decision there in backing his cavalry off. If you notice, Cerberus' ally, Turbo, is bringing his Scipii army over, his whole army, all his infantry and his cavalry here, over to the right flank. and this will threaten our teammate Talos here. So at the moment, Talos is facing the whole of the SBQR army and the enemy Scipio army too. So we need to get over there pretty fast. If you notice, I'm running my army over to help to support him, but yeah, he's up against quite considerable odds there at the moment. If the enemy strike fast, Talos could be in a bit of trouble here, but as I say, we're getting reinforcements over to him now. As you can see, the enemy Scipio cavalry are just going to charge in there then. Turbo, BH member Turbo with the Scipio army has always been an aggressive player, and as you can see there, I'm just going to pause the game here for us to take stock of the situation on the right flank. As you can see, you've got enemy SBQR cavalry going out wide. You've got Scipio cavalry aggressively attacking Talos' Julia army there. Also, there's Scipio infantry going in there as well. And you've got the SBQR enemy army facing Talos as well there. So there's quite a lot going on there on the right flank. And to be honest with you, it's not looking very good there. If the enemy actually really strike fast, which they're trying to do at the moment, we could be in trouble. And as you can see, the Seleucid tank cavalry are also ready to attack there. As you can see. So we just need to get... Conan and myself need to get reinforcements over to Talos there to help him, help to even the odds a little bit there against all that enemy infantry and cavalry. You see, I've sent over some of my infantry units to support Talos. If you notice, I'm sending over my Legionary First Cohort to give morale to the units I've sent over there. It's always helpful to have that. So when you send units away from your main army, from your general, if you've got something like an Eagle unit, always send it with them so that it gives them that morale while they're fighting. As you can see, it's pretty tough over here on the right flank. I've sent some more units over, and my cavalry is on standby ready to charge in when needed. Here you can see a joint enemy attack of SBQR cavalry and Scipio cavalry smashing into Talos' Julii infantry there. That's a heck of a cavalry hit going in there. As you can see, I'm bringing my cavalry over here. I'm going to charge them in to try and take a bit of pressure off of Talos' army. Conan's got his cavalry in there as well, and Talos has thrown his cavalry in there. So that is one massive cavalry and infantry hit going on in that on that right flank. You see, Scorpion King's thrown in, I think, a couple of his Cataphract tank cavalry into the fray. But that is a massive infantry and cavalry battle going in here on the right flank. My guess is, looking at the overall battle picture here, that this right flank is going to be very important. Whoever wins here, I think, could go on to win, possibly go on to win the battle here. If you notice, I've just pulled my cavalry back out of the fray. Once again, those of you that watch the battle videos that I make will know that I've pulled them out because I've got the maximum charge bonus that I could. Obviously now I've got a view to actually charge them back in when I see a target that I want to hit. If you notice, Conan now is bringing over some infantry reinforcements, and here you see my cavalry is going in now. Try and take a bit of pressure off of Talos and my own infantry there with that cavalry hit. You see Conan's bringing over support as well. If you noticed here, our Brotherhood team have sent reinforcements to critical places on the battlefield here. As I said in other battle videos, when it comes to 2v2, 3v3 or 4v4, teamwork is essential to win the game. If you notice there, we've got reinforcements, a lot of reinforcements over on the right flank now. So I think it would be kind of difficult for the enemy to win there with all the reinforcements that we've got. I think Conan's 18 infantry there have come into their own here because he's been able to send a large force over to the right flank while still being able to hold well on the left flank if needed. And he's even got spare units that he could send to the centre if he wanted to. So in this particular battle, bringing 18 infantry units has, I think, paid off quite well. As you can see here, I'm charging my cavalry in again with a view to try and rout some of the enemy SPQR infantry fighting there. If you notice there, Conan's also charged his infantry forward then when he saw my cavalry coming in. So that was kind of like a nice little, if you like, joint attack there. As you can see, the enemy Scipii cavalry have just done a counter-attack to us there. If you notice here, can you see Talos is bringing some infantry units around the right flank to get in behind or into the flank of the enemy forces fighting us there. Nice little move by Talos. New players watching this, always remember, if you can take infantry units around the flank of the enemy and hit them in the side or in the rear, it's always a great move to do. As you can see, a heck of a lot of the Scipii army is now routed. And I think, from what I can see here now, it looks pretty well like our team seems to be getting the upper hand here at the moment. I think from what I can see now, it just looks like it's mostly the enemy Seleucid pikemen that seem to be left on the battlefield mostly at the moment. I think there's a couple of enemy Scipii units left, but I think in general we seem to have looked like we've kind of won this battle at the moment there. As I say, there's just a few Seleucid pike units that are still fighting to the death by looks of it at the moment. But if you remember at the beginning of the game, we were saying, we were looking at Conan's 18 infantry and 2 cavalry and wondering whether the flexibility of having 5 or 6 cavalry kind of might have been overtaken by having so much infantry. And in this particular battle, Conan bringing so many infantry has really kind of come into its own, really. Being able to send reinforcements all over the battlefield and still being able to hold his original position. So that was a good move, bringing all that infantry there. As you can see, we're just kind of mopping up the last of the enemy Seleucid units left. I see there's a couple of pike units left out here. There's a little bit of close-in fighting of my infantry against the Seleucids there. As you can see, the length of those pikes are quite a lot to fight down. Now here's a great shot for you here. Can you see, when we close in a little bit, the length of those pikes? Can you see how the Roman infantry are gradually advancing, but those pikes are like holding them back? So that's what I said about, fighting pikes head on, really. Is not something that Roman generals like doing. But if you notice, I held that pike unit with one unit while I brought another unit in behind it. So that tactic seemed to work quite well there. And as you can see, my teammates now are bringing over more units there, and it looks like we've kind of won this battle, I think, now. Just like to say, really well played to everybody in the game. This is my first battle that I've actually shown from the Steam server. As some of you may know, Steam has now taken over serving of the original Rome Total War, and this is the first save battle that I've actually saved on Steam. I'd just like to say, really well played to the other team. Lots of aggressive attacking going on there. Some really good moves, especially in the initial part of the game where they did that massive attack on the right flank. That was a great move by them. I'd like to say really well done to Conan and Talos, especially to Talos, who held so well on that right flank against all those odds. And well done to Conan for bringing over so many reinforcements and managing to kind of shore up the line on that right flank. So really well done to Talos and Conan, and as I said, really well done to the other team. So this is Spartan Commander saying I hope you enjoyed the battle, and I hope to be seeing you soon. Bye for now.